Hi there, this is Dr. Ambuddy with a little bit of an introduction to CSE 231, Introduction to Programming using Python. This is a hybrid course. That means that there is no standard lecture. Many of you have a lab, some are entirely online. One thing you should realize is that this kind of course is different than other courses, and it takes a different kind of personal discipline to keep up with things and do well. This is a synchronous course in the sense that there are due dates. In fact, there's a lot of things that are due right away, in fact. So let's take a look at what some of the components are that we have here. Well, one question is, so why are we doing this? What's this programming all about? And I put a link on one of the first pages there to a video about exoskeletons that let people who have spinal injuries confined to a wheelchair actually get up and walk. And the reality is that when you learn to program, you can change people's lives, and that's kind of why we're here. What is this course really about? A lot of people think it's about programming. It's actually about problem solving, and it's problem solving using a computer. Problem solving is something that is a challenge for a lot of people. That's often the harder part of the course, the problem solving part as opposed to the programming part. So be aware of that. You can make it through 12 years of schooling and not be a very good problem solver. So that is that's a big challenge for people. Our ultimate goal, though, is that when you're done with this course, when presented with a problem, the right answer might be, oh, hey, I could write a program to do that. What we have here is a course created by Dr. Punch and myself, and we wrote a text to go along with it because at the time we created this course, there wasn't a text in Python. So what we have is, the concept that we came up with for this hybrid course is that you'll read information in the text. There's some videos that are supplementary. They don't cover everything in the text. They mostly show you how to do stuff. So the text actually is important. Some online courses will write everything down on the web pages. Now we didn't do that because we already wrote it down someplace else. So there's this weekly rhythm that we get into here of doing some readings, watching the videos. There are some short online exercises called My Programming Lab. Then there are weekly lab exercises, and there's a pre-lab that goes along with that. Don't forget to do that because that's part of the lab. And then there's a weekly programming project. That down at the bottom here, I have a pro tip. Start those projects early. You'll find the first ones are easy. You can start them on the Monday that they're due, but don't get into that habit because later on that doesn't work so well. I mentioned that this course is about problem solving, and we know that from problem solving is that to be effective at it, you have to be able to put it down, particularly as the problems get more complex. Try to do it all on Monday, you don't have that time, and then you're in trouble. There are 3 exams, 2 midterms and a final. And the details of all this are in the syllabus. An important thing is that we have a web page, and this course is based off of that web page. You want to become friends with that web page, and it looks, so let me show you it here. There's a page. It's got a little picture of our book up in the corner. It has a start here, and that tells you about the course, some of the stuff that I'm telling you right now. There is a link to the syllabus, a lot of important details in there. Important things like when are things due, the course grading, a couple of interesting items there, like we have this weird thing about the labs. If you miss more than 3, we start deducting from your final grade. That is, we hit you with a big stick on that. There is My Programming Lab, and that's a separate thing. There is a section access to code, but that's after you've enrolled for My Programming Lab. So there's actually two codes. Don't get confused with it. First of all, you have to get into My Programming Lab, and if you didn't get that with the book, then you have to you'll have to pay for that separately. So the question is, how did you pay for it? And then how do you get access to it? And notice that there's a scratch off on the inside of the front cover. That's not what gets you into it. Another important item on here is that programming projects are to be done individually. Labs and My Programming Lab are done collaboratively, but these are done individually. Okay, if you collaborate with a student, you'll get a 0 and a dishonesty report filed. Don't do that. So there's a bunch about the syllabus. So let's take a look at the online content link. We talk a little bit about stuff, but here is where the good stuff is. So there's the welcome video. That's what we're looking at right now. There's the exoskeleton. That's just kind of fun. If you haven't done it, there's this thing called Hour of Code. K through 12 students is what that's designed for. This link is to one that's in Python, and it uses the turtle to do some drawing. I highly recommend that you do this. I can't require you to do this, but this is a nice way to get you into the course. And frankly, if you're the kind of person who just blows something like this off, you're going to have trouble in the course anyway. So it sort of has two things of value. And then a little thing is that this semester anyways, we're going to be using the Python turtle as part of Project 2. And so it's also a good thing for you to do for that reason. Each one of these, so every week there is there is some readings from the book. And if you haven't yet purchased the book, like you're in the first week of class or something, I do have the draft of the first chapters there, so you can get started with that while you've ordered the book, if that's the way you're doing it. So we start with the readings, and then there's some videos, and if you scroll down a little bit, you see that there are some My Programming Lab exercises. Right, and I have a little video about getting started with them, and then also we have a lab, and don't forget to do the pre-labs, and then there's always a programming project. So every week there's this rhythm of you do some reading in the text, you watch some videos, you do some My Programming Lab, and then you do the lab exercise. Those of you who have an in-person lab, that's where you'll do that, but you got to do the pre-lab ahead of time. Those are due on Tuesday nights. And then there's a weekly programming project. All right, so there's every week there's a lot to do in this class. And this is a 4-credit engineering course. We're cranking along here. There's a lot that we need to get done. And so each week has its own page like that. To help get things organized for you, there is a page that has all the stuff when everything is due. And that's going to be your friend in terms of keeping track of things. A few things to note here is that Mondays are when projects are due, Tuesdays are when pre-labs are due, although if you have a Tuesday lab, you still have to get it done before labs. So this really applies to people with labs on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesdays, you got to do it ahead of time. This showing labs due on these days, this is for the section 730, the truly online people. My Programming Lab is shown as a Friday activity, but the reality is that they don't get collected until later. So you have some flexibility there, and there's other flexibility that you have detailed in the in the syllabus. So that's your friend. The other place that's important for you is Piazza. You can ask questions, and this is actually a page from last semester, but there are you can pose questions, and every day there are TAs assigned to be answering questions, and students can also answer questions when there aren't TAs around to answer questions. This is a great place to start. I'll be talking more about that. You'll notice that there will be, it doesn't show up here. Oh, there it is. We're going to try and keep up a page that has pointers to commonly asked questions about the current project, and hopefully that will be a helpful thing for you guys. All right, so let's see, what else do we have here? So we have, so the grading. We've got the programming projects. The exams are equally rated. My Programming Lab Online is also there, and so that counts for 10% of your grade. And then notice that if you miss 3 labs, your final grade is reduced by 0.5. Okay. All right, and let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, so exams, even though this is a hybrid course, those two are truly online. There is a possibility for remote proctoring. There will be details about that later. I've already mentioned collaboration. An important thing to do is to download Anaconda Python. All right. You want Python 3, not Python 2. Don't do that one. And so I mentioned the rhythm of every week. Read a chapter, watch a video, My Programming Lab, and so on. My pro tip: start programming projects early. All right. You are ready to go. Good luck with it. We're here to help you get through this. You have a teaching assistant. We've got 2 instructors. There's myself and Ali Raza. We're going to get you through this. You do your part, we'll do our part. Good luck.